Well, guys, we're about to head back. I hiked up to Angel's Landing. I didn't go up to the top, but it's about to rain, and I'm not going to deal with any of that. But yeah, the lodge here has a really cool EV charger. They don't really seem to ask anything for using it. So just be conscious of that, and try to buy something from the shop, or I just had lunch at their lodge diner. So I mean, they are a business as well. So we want to make sure that we're letting them know that we're thanking them for putting these electric vehicle chargers in. And as I go out, one thing I wanted to bring up with Android Auto, and I'm guessing the same is true with Apple CarPlay, all of the maps. A shortcoming of having your maps in your phone is if you don't have a direct GPS connection. So right now I have the address for the first DC fast charger in Las Vegas. So I think I can make it, but as you can see, because there's no signal, I can't actually track the map, and I don't know exactly how far it is. I can sort of estimate. And I think it is going to be pretty close to, doing the math in my head, pretty close to about 170 or 180 miles. My minimum right now is 164, so that could be a little concerning. These are faster roads, but I think it's also a majority downhill, so I think I should be fine. But either way, it still would be nice to be able to track and know. And I'll be able to link up later on as I get closer to a phone signal, and then I'll be able to see from that point if I need to make like an emergency inconvenient stop in like St. George. And then the other thing is too, this trip isn't going to necessarily be representative of the time that the Bolt would be able to do this journey normally, because I'm more than likely going to hit Las Vegas traffic coming back. Now, it might have been a slow weekend, and because when I was looking at the traffic on the maps before I headed out on a Friday night, there wasn't a whole lot of traffic heading to Vegas. So if it's slow, then that will extend the range, but it will be misrepresentative of the time in which the Bolt would be able to normally make this journey. But if there's no traffic, then we might get a good estimate of saying, okay, I'm leaving Zion at 1:30 local time, and we'll be able to know exactly how long. I'm gaining an hour, but it should be about 11 hours, 10 to 11 hours of driving if this goes the same way as the trip in. So, all right, well, we're about to head out. And one more thing before I leave. There is a constant draw right now of about 2 to 3 kilowatts. So, it's something to note that even when the battery is full, it's still accepting some charge. All right, so we're leaving Zion now. I can talk a little bit, but I think you guys can just enjoy the view. Yeah, it was some interesting weather. I actually got rained on pretty hard coming in. And actually, the interesting thing about the energy screen, it will reset, right? It resets this when it's recharged. So that's why it's back to 0.2 kilowatt hours, 0.7 miles, right? But if you go to the efficiency history, it still maintains that 50 mile, it still maintains that 50 mile tracker back, and so you can see efficiency here and there. So I got a little lucky in that for a good portion of the weather, it was slow roads, 35 mile an hour roads, 40 mile an hour roads, things like that. So cold weather and rain, it has a significantly lower impact on your range and efficiency depending on speed, right? So in a way to think about that is with the rain, as you're driving, you're actually absorbing all of the energy of those little rain droplets as you're hitting them. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but drive for 10 miles, how much rain do you think you absorbed all of that energy and had to now transfer it moving forward? It's a pretty significant sap to your efficiency. So yeah, I got a little bit lucky with that. The roads coming in and out of here, and someone reminded me that north of here the roads are actually like 80 or 85 miles an hour. So I think the Bolt EV would be a very competent vehicle for someone in Utah, but I think there needs to be a couple of additional fast charging options between some of the major cities, right? I don't know if something like Orem would be south, far enough south, but it would be nice to, have some fast charging options that would link, say, St. George and Salt Lake City, which is like I think 300 and some odd miles, right? So you're going to need to stop at least once, especially if you're driving at 85. But yeah, so I thought that's really cool. You can reset this by resetting it, right? But if you just want to look back 50 miles, and that's the other thing too, maybe GM would consider, like, this chart goes really, really high. Like when I was coming off the Grapevine, we were seeing rates as high as like 250 miles per kilowatt hour, which is just ridiculous. And so it will go very high vertically, but maybe they should give the option, or if their memory's an issue, maybe not, but to expand this out. Say, okay, here's 50 miles. I want to dial in and I want to see my last 25. I want to see my last 50. I want to see my last 100 or 200 miles, right? And then just let the horizontal graph absorb those extra categories. It might be a nice option in the future for those of us who really want to track our efficiency, say over the course of a longer trip. So yeah, so it looks like there are a lot of little trails around here, which is kind of interesting. I better remember which direction I'm going. Yeah, I'm going right. Yeah, there are a lot of little trails around here. It was actually very nice. And like I said, I went up to Angel's Landing, and that was a pretty decent hike. It's like 5 miles up and like 5,000 miles in elevation difference or something like that. So yeah, it was pretty intensive, considering I still have a chest cold. But that's kind of what I was worried about. I decided not to go up the chains because you had a few dozen people already on them, right, climbing up, and I'm seeing like what could potentially be a pretty bad storm coming in. I would rather not get stuck up there. And like I said, I don't really have anything to prove in that regard. What I came here to prove is that I can come visit Zion in my Bolt EV if I want to, and to let you guys kind of see how that is. Also, I don't know if you're picking that up, but I'm maxed out on charge pretty much, and so let's see if I can get back there. I'm still only at 0.2 kilowatt hours used, so my regeneration right now is actually very low. And maybe someone can confirm this later, but there's a little white line. So there's the main line, right, where if it goes up, it's yellow, that's power output, right? But if it goes below that main white line, it's green, that's power regeneration, right? Well, there's a thin white line that varies in its location, and I don't know if this is the max regen you've achieved, or if this is the max regen that's available, right? So, because I do see sometimes it will apparently push down, but it would be nice to see, to see that. Yeah, so there the green sort of bounced up against it and then went back down. So I don't know, maybe that is indicating what your max regen is at the time. There's some very subtle things in the DIC up here, the driver instrument control, or information, whatever it is. But the thing is, there's also a green bar that I think shows tracking your history, right? So right now I'm maxed at the very top of the green, which I think maybe is tracking my efficiency and giving a quick way of looking at it on the guessometer, on the miles estimator. Because what it's doing is saying, I think this is more efficient than you've been driving up to this point. So if anybody knows, feel free to add. But yeah, just watch that. And most of the time, if you're just driving normally, you'll see a little bit of green extending up from where it says your middle range is. But right now mine is maxed, so I'm guessing that's saying, hey, you're being super efficient. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, there's some little subtle things that GM included that I think if you're perceptive and you pay attention, it'll add some information or make more information available to you.